Was I sexually assaulted by my husband? Going through a very difficult time in my marriage currently for the last year. Going to therapy for myself the past 6 months has helped me and has been extremely painful but necessary. I got engaged very young at 18 after 3 months of dating. He was 25 at the time. Married within 1 year. Regarding sex, as Christians we waited until marriage. Regret. This was in 2014 to 2015. I am 25 now and have a 2-year-old with him. Trigger warning. Every time he would initiate sex, it would be by grabbing my hand and making me feel his penis. It was definitely his go-to move. It just hit me that every time after that I would resist really hard because I didn't like it. I would even verbalize this by literally saying no, I don't like it, or just no. He wouldn't listen. He would giggle a little or smile and literally grab my hand and use force on my arm and hand to touch him. We have been married going on 6 years. I am a victim of childhood abuse and molestation. He knew this within 1 month of dating and he is a victim too. I am in therapy for myself the past 6 months and I just woke up realizing all of this. Think I'm in shock right now. My title wouldn't be asked if I didn't truly know the answer. I'm just in shock. I'm calling my therapist as soon as it gets to a reasonable hour. As obvious as it was, I just didn't know that I wasn't being respected or listened to. Very actively disrespected and ignored. Yeah, I would highly suggest raising this with the authorities in your area. Get a plan in place to stay somewhere else to make sure you and your 2-year-old are safe. The fact that you've both been through a terrible past does not excuse his actions now, and it's 100% dangerous to be around him. Alert the authorities, find a safe place to live for a while, and start divorce proceedings and get full custody of your child. Thank you for your reply. I am safe and appreciate your concern. Yeah. This is kind of cut and dried rape. You verbalized that you did not consent to having sex, and he responded by laughing at you and forcing you to have sex. I'm really glad that your therapist is involved. Strongly recommend talking to your therapist about this in private. Be careful. I'm very thankful for my therapist too. I am safe, thank you. Yes. This is sexual assault. Being married does not give him the right to force you to do anything. You said no and he ignored it. That is appalling, disgusting behavior, and whenever it progressed to any form of penetrative sex after you've said no, it was non-consensual and therefore rape. Please discuss this with your therapist as soon as possible and consider your options moving forward, legal or otherwise. I know that you feel scared, shocked and trapped in these circumstances. Please just know that you are worth so much more than this. Look after yourself, op. This internet stranger is sending you endless love and support. 2 hearts. You have just had a huge realization and a paradigm shift in your awareness. Your brain is connecting experiences and feelings in a new way from being more aware of those areas that you block thinking about. This is part of the process and I am really glad that you are able to talk to your therapist about it. I am not going to do any analysis of this. There are some very clear clues as to why he does this and why you are the one he chooses to do this to. Give yourself a hug. It will all be okay eventually. You will build yourself into someone who has respect for your own bodily autonomy and insist on being listened to as you listen to yourself and respect yourself. That makes a lot of sense and was helpful to read. I appreciate that. I can already feel myself going into denial and it wasn't as bad as I am making it seem. Not sure how to stop that thought process. I think it's a defense mechanism or a survival mode I have had since I was young. I'm scared to slip into pretending it didn't happen. Thank you again for your thoughtful comment. I worked in family violence and it was so common for survivors to realize this type of stuff a long time into or even after their relationship. I'm glad you have therapy, and maybe look to join some family violence support groups too. Make sure to get a safety plan organized if you feel you need one. Congrats on realizing and knowing you deserve better. 3. I just found out I was the other guy. So my girlfriend and I are 19-year-old college students. My girlfriend of 1 month told me not to see her on Valentine's Day. Weird, right? I went to her dorm anyway and heard a dude. I was the other guy. She had a boyfriend for a year and he is currently attending online classes out of town. I liked the girl a lot and she even told me she loved me. I even lost my virginity to her. Though I didn't actually interact with the guy, and I haven't yet because she told me over the phone after I confronted her. She told me she wants to continue both relationships. She doesn't mean sexually either, she literally means to continue both relationships like a normal relationship would, but the other guy on the weekend and me on the weekdays. So besides her obvious insanity and immediately turn her down, what do? I went out with my friends tonight and they all told me to tell the other guy, but he doesn't seem very smart and he's bigger than me and my girlfriend is manipulative, so I don't want to get in a fight with him. I just want to forget about all of this and move on. I was planning on breaking up with her soon because she was just odd. She said the other guy never touches her and I guess I fulfilled that more than he did. I'm really confused as to what to do and why she even chose me for this. Now sounds like a great time to nope out of this situation, my dude. I hate when people try to con you by saying my boyfriend/girlfriend doesn't touch me, so it's totally okay for me to be seeing you. That's usually the go-to lie for people who cheat, so I wouldn't put any stock in it being true. If she wanted to be seeing multiple guys at once, she should have been upfront about it, with both guys. It would have given you a chance to opt out before getting involved with her lying ass. Telling the guy is up to you. If it was you, would you want to know that your girlfriend was going around telling other guys that he's not enough and needed a side piece? If you want to move on and forget it happened, you can do that too. Move on. This kind of complexity is not worth it. She's a horrible person and you deserve better. Never believe anyone if they tell you they love you after only a month. New girlfriend wants me to remove photo of deceased partner. I 32 stumbled into my first relationship this December since my partner of 7 years died in February 2020. I was completely open with my new girlfriend 33F about my widower situation. She wasn't initially scared off and even asked questions about my deceased partner. Everything has been great and surpassed any expectations I had about dating again. Until last week. I have one 4x6-inch photo of me and my deceased partner in my apartment. It's on a bookshelf in my living room. My girlfriend asked me to remove it last week because it makes her uncomfortable and is a signal that I am not ready to date. I disagree and say that the two aren't in a competition. But I would have agreed with her if I hadn't experienced the death of a partner. We have talked several times about this but haven't made much headway. Am I stuck in the past by wanting to keep the photo up, or is this an unreasonable request for a 2-month-old relationship? My wife and I both previously lost our fiancé/partner before meeting each other. Throughout our relationship and even now married, she has a couple small pictures she keeps, although her relationship ended much more poorly than mine, and doesn't exactly want to remember all of it. And I have 1 or 2 small photos still in our hallway, where we have a lot of old family photos. All no bigger than 4x6 for either of us, but they're an important part of our history. Nothing wrong with that. If I was in your shoes, I would consider this very unreasonable, especially a year later. It has nothing to do with being ready to date, but to do with honoring someone important in your life who isn't there anymore. If she thinks she is in competition with a dead partner, she may very well lose. Please consider making another copy of your photo in case she goes overboard and removes the photo herself. You've been dating for 2 months and she's being unreasonable by asking you to remove a photo of your deceased wife when a whole year hasn't passed. You'll do fine without this lady as a girlfriend. She doesn't seem to understand or respect what you've been through. If he thinks there's any danger of her destroying the photo, he should break up with her rather than have to take precautions with his photo. That's really inappropriate of her to ask. She's not ready to date a widower. Nope, not her place. Doesn't sound like she's emotionally mature enough to date someone who has lost a partner. Edit, and after 2 months. Big yikes. This is an unreasonable request and a huge red flag. I lost my fiance years ago. I keep a photo of him, smiling after a hike with his dog, in my living room. It's not front and center, but it's there. It honors what I had with him. My boyfriend only asked about it once, when we were first dating, and he didn't know who it was. He's very, very respectful of that relationship. I would be crushed if he asked me to remove it. I would feel the same if he asked me to remove any other photo I have in a frame of my loved ones. They represent parts of me and my life. My father holding me as a baby, my mother laughing, my grandfather making a silly face. These are the people that have made me who I am. I strongly suggest you take a step back and reconsider this person and this relationship. She is threatened by a photo of someone significant to you that is no longer here. Her immaturity and lack of understanding are big red flags.